thank you for introducing my simple name, because if we were to go with my, real name, always the conversation is about, so how do we pronounce it? But anyway, we will leave that. So in the end, we are, in this session, going to talk about business strategy and your smart strategy for 2020. I do have one question in the beginning. So basically, because we are going to talk about strategy, I want you to select one of these industries to start a new business in. Which industry would you choose? They all seem like pretty profitable industries. So let's see. Wow. Okay, that's what I expected. But I want to know why. Why do you think everybody would like to invest in renewable energies or data analytics? Why hasn't anybody chosen men's razors? Because that's really the industry where you can really make big money. No? Okay, I really want to know, why have you all selected these two industries? Because you have done what everybody in business strategy would do, because your thought process starts from the idea, which is a profitable industry? Which industry is on a growth path? So I should not go in an industry that's on a decline. I should not go in an industry that has a lot of competition. I should be in an industry that's on a growth path. So that's the traditional approach to strategy. What I want to talk about today is that it's not really the environment that determines how you are going to do in business, but it's really your strategy that determines how successful you are going to be. Whether you are in orchestra, whether you are in men's razors, whether you are in fundraising charity, you can still make a lot of money, but it depends on your specific strategy. So really what I want to discuss about, can we move on, please, to the slides? How do we move on? Okay. So really what I want to talk about today is the strategy that is aimed towards productivity and a strategy that's aimed towards creativity. So difference between productivity and creativity. What is that? If you are trying to solve a problem that already everybody else is solving, but you want to solve it better, you are stuck in the productivity space. Improve cycle times, reduce operational costs, the last mile is shorter for you. So if you are focused on an existing problem and finding a better solution to an existing problem, you are in the productivity space. What I want to urge is that you need to consider the creativity space, which means you need to identify problems that either have not been identified before, or nobody has solved those problems before. So your solution is different than anybody else. So what I want to introduce to you are these two terms, and some of you may already know them: the red ocean and the blue ocean. What is red ocean? Red oceans are all the existing industries. Everybody in the industry is doing the same as everybody else in the industry. You understand the industry in the same way, right? If you are in e-commerce, you know what the customers expect. You know that you need to, what means improved customer service, what means faster delivery to them, and so on, right? But when you are doing the same thing as every other competitor in your industry, we say that you are in the red ocean, which means that you are fighting with your competitors for the customers, and it's the fight between competitors that turns the ocean bloody red. Blue ocean is the calm place where there is no competitor, which means it's a problem that has not been solved before. There isn't a competitor who is solving that problem before. So how do you go about systematically identifying that problem and finding a solution to it? That's what Blue Ocean Strategy and Blue Ocean Shift is about. Now, what does that mean? There is the known market space, and these are all existing industries. They have boundaries, which are not hard and fast rules that are written somewhere, but it's how everybody understands an industry. The blue space is the unknown market space. And creating a blue ocean is about altering some of those industry boundaries. So when you think about an industry, what comes to your mind? For example, who would you be hiring? What would you be selling? How would you be servicing customers? All those things in your industry sort of form those boundaries. So now, even though I know that none of you wanted to invest in the men's razors industry, but let's say we do want to invest in men's razors industry. So can anybody tell me what are sort of the boundaries there? What are sort of the assumptions or expectations in that industry? One thing is clear. What would you be selling? Men's razors. Where would you be selling them? Either online or on big box retailers. You want to get into Walmart, you want to get into, Carrefour, all those companies, right? Or in the drugstores. So you would be selling generally either through brick or mortar sales, or you would be selling maybe online, through Amazon, through others, right? Then there are two strategic choices there. Either you can be a differentiator, so you can have a razor blade which has like 7 blades for a smoother shave, right? Or you could be that big razor which is a disposable $1 razor. So either you are a differentiator or you are a low-cost player. If you are not winning in differentiation, or if you are not winning in lower cost, then you are stuck in the middle and you are lost, right? Those are sort of the assumptions that define how the industry would operate. So basically, men's razor industries is ruled by giants. So there is like Gillette, there is like Chic. They are in all the drugstores. So getting retail space when you are going against those giants in that differentiation space is very tricky. And that's why probably none of you selected that you wanted to go in that business space, right? Similarly, the low-cost leaders, you can get like 4 razors for $1 and so on. So for having a cost advantage that will let you win in the lower cost model is also tricky, and that's why I think none of you selected this industry. But the point is, we want to think about, are there things that these industry giants or industry players have not thought about? Are there any problems for the users that you can solve and win and make great money there? Now, can anybody tell me what could be a problem in this industry that nobody else has solved? Many of you use razors. Does anybody run into any problem? Ever? No? Say that again, please. You run out of them, yes. So there are actually a number of problems. One is, of course, there are 2 options. Either under-delivered and risky, which get rusted, or they are over-delivered and expensive. That's one problem. There isn't really anything in between, because you would lose if you were in between. Then there are the blade cuts. And why are there blade cuts in both of those? Because if you are using the $1 razors, they get rusted and they cause blood drip. If you are using the expensive razors, they are so expensive that you use longer than they are expected to be used. If they say use a blade for 1 week, you may be using it for 1 month. And in the end, it is going to cause those blade cuts, right? And then there is another problem that nobody really is solving in the industry. In fact, you may have noticed in the US, in the drugstores, razors are one of the things that are under lock and key. So you have to go fetch somebody who is going to open the lock and key and get you the razor blades, because they are one of the most shoplifted products. Why? Because they are expensive, they are small, they can be easily shoplifted, right? But the industry has never thought on the idea. It's a razor blade model. You sell the razor at a lower cost, and then you start charging for the blades, right? This is, if you were to look at the industry using a tool, using a blue ocean tool, to have a big picture view, you would see that there are factors written there that the industry thinks are important. Price, brick and mortar sales, razor blade business model, celebrity-based marketing, razor tech, and you can see all of them are up. You need to have Roger Federer in those marketing ads, and that's where companies are investing. You want to have those 10 blades so that you can really win, and that's where the industry is investing. Nobody really is thinking about ordering convenience, right? And that's, for example, is one of the areas that we have identified as a problem that you can focus on to create something unique that would set you apart from others, right? I want to show you a little video of a company called Dollar Shave Club. Has anybody heard about it? It was recently acquired, actually a year back, acquired for about $1.2 billion by Johnson & Johnson. So to think that somebody can start a business in razor blades, go up against these giants, and get $1.2 billion for their business, that's rare, right? I want to show you a little video of what they have done.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are gonna ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're gonna stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
So Michael started with about $4,000 that he invested in this video that went viral. Of course, changed what the industry expected of him. How did he change it? Now you can see that I am showing you these tools. It's because I want to talk about this systematic process that any company can undertake to go from where they are, which is a red ocean, to a blue ocean. So one of the tools that you use is this tool that's called the Strategy Canvas that allows you to move back, step back, and look at the big picture in your industry. What is it that everybody expects in the industry? What is it that everybody is investing in the industry? And then make a systematic approach to have a curve which is different, where you can stand apart. And then it's not randomly different. It is what Blue Ocean strategy is about is the simultaneous pursuit of high value and low cost. So you can see he has eliminated things that were a huge cost in the industry. Brick and mortar sales, razor tech, celebrity-based marketing, anything that was a huge cost in the industry, he has eliminated or reduced it so that the cost structure goes down. And then he has added something which the industry had not thought of before, but it adds big new value for the customer. Home delivery gets delivered to you every week. You change it, and so obviously you get tied into that new model where customer retention is not a problem because it's a subscription-based model, and you can see that it really became a successful, right? So this is one of the tools that gives you a big picture view of what the industry is doing and what are you going to do differently. And it's based on this basic idea that you have to lower your cost structure and raise value for the buyers at the same time. One of the tools which is part of the process is this eliminate, reduce, raise, create grid. And it's based on those questions. What is it that the industry has been taking for granted but can be eliminated? What is it that the industry keeps doing but it can be reduced well below the industry level? What can you raise well above the industry level? What can you create that the industry has never thought of before? So 4 simple questions. The first 2 questions allow you to reduce your cost. These next 2 questions allow you to raise value for the buyers. And that's what allows you to stand apart from the customers. Now let's take another industry and think about how you would go about like finding something that's a problem that the industry has not thought about. So let's talk about conference room equipment or meeting room equipment or classroom technologies and the equipment there, right? These are industries that are quite red ocean. You compete a lot on your distribution systems. You compete a lot on the features that you are bringing to the table. And if you were to use a systematic tool of that blue ocean shift process, this tool is called the buyer utility map. What it allows you to do is to have a systematic look at the overall buyer experience, starting from how do they purchase things, how is it delivered to them, how do they use them, how do they maintain them, how do they dispose them off, do they use any supplements with them, and so on. So systematic approach to having a look at the overall experience cycle. So basically, and then on the other side, there are these 6 utility levers. So basically, these are 36 different blocks, and your role is to identify which of these blocks are the areas where industry has not thought of before, right? So let's, for the time being, only focus on the classroom technologies. What the industry has not thought of before is that there is an interactive whiteboard that they're going to put in the classroom for teaching, but teachers don't really know how to use it. And that's why nobody uses it. In your meeting rooms, there would be those interactive whiteboards that nobody is using because every time you have to bring in somebody who is going to come and tell you how to use it. Secondly, the other problem is that there are so many different technologies coming from so many different companies that they don't work well with each other. In a meeting room, there are some technologies that you are using to collaborate better with people who are locally in that room. And then there are other technologies that you are using for connecting with your remote team members, right? So software is separate, hardware is separate. You may have like a video conferencing system to connect with your remote partners. You may have an interactive whiteboard to work with the people in the room and so on. So there are multitude of devices, software, and they don't speak to each other and so on. And then the big problem in the industry is that it is based on equipment purchase that's going to go obsolete pretty soon. So there are these interactive whiteboards with the projectors on top. Most of them are going obsolete because now they need to move to the new technology, which is like the flat panel interactive displays and so on. So there, because of the speed of technology, companies and schools make these investments in technology that later on they have to throw away and then purchase every 5 years or 7 years. So these are 3 areas that we worked on. So this is, the company is called OneScreen. And that's a product that I helped my baby brother create. So this is our family business. What we created really was smart classroom as a service, which meant changing almost everything that the industry believed in. It was not about equipment purchase. It was, so it's not a capital expenditure when somebody goes for that service. It combined the hardware, the software, and the support. The teachers don't know how to use it. They can click that one-click support button where the screen skills guru can train them and provide them, provide them webinars, support. It's like having your IT department built into the screen and so on. So it's hardware, it's software, it's support that comes together as a service. High value for the customers, because every 3 years, their older model is replaced with the newer model. That means instead of iPhone 5, you get the iPhone 10, but without an upgrade cost. So for customers, the life cycle cost goes really low because there is a upgrade that's built in. Then there is the one-click access to technical support, which has been raised. Lots of collaboration and teaching tools because it is now one company providing a number of things, which is in-room collaboration, which is distance and blended learning software that's built in, which is educational software and educational content that teachers have access to, which includes automated attendance, which is a part of it, which includes a central control mechanism for the principal to send out maybe morning announcements to all the classrooms or emergency notifications if there is a security threat and so on. So all of that comes together as one package with one monthly fee, which is affordable and helps them create a blue ocean. Let me show a little video where you will see my baby brother, who is not really a baby.
In 2012, we came up with the idea that we can do a better job at improving the interaction of students and teachers in a classroom setting. So we decided to come up with this product called OneScreen.
Instead of becoming just a touchscreen manufacturer, we became a solutions provider. We have our distance and blended learning software that allows for video and voice application with anybody in the world. We have a share and collaborate software that allows for basically the collaboration and sharing of information from, let's say, a computer to any device out there as well. On top of that, we have an attendance software. We also have an eShare product that allows for streaming of wireless devices from the classroom, let's say, onto the screen.
The biggest challenge, I feel, for the teachers, they are given 6 or 7 different products from different companies with very little support, and they are expected to learn all of those technologies and utilize them efficiently. It becomes a nightmare. Most of the teachers use less than 10% of the capability of the technology that's in the classroom. We are the only player who's delivering a complete turnkey solution for classroom productivity.
So what nobody else has as well is our Screen Skills Guru support, which is an on-demand support button that allows for teachers to get the ability to ask questions, troubleshooting. You can either do a video call, an audio call, or even just an instant message with our support team.
So what we are doing is we are bringing all of these tools together in a single plug-and-play solution. And when we deliver that, then there is no competition today.
And so what he talked about right now is really the mantra behind Blue Ocean, whether there is competition or whether there is no competition. They could have gone head-to-head against big players like Smart and Promethean or so, who have been in the industry for the longest time, right? But if you compete on the same things, how can a small company go against them? So this is a product that we created about 7 years ago. That's when the product was introduced and launched. This year, it's doing 20 million in revenues, and that has actually encouraged me to take on a day job with them for global business development. And so right now, they are operating in 19 countries. My role is to take it to 45 different countries. So if anybody wants to bring it to Finland, please do talk to me about it. That's my role here. The point here is, whichever industry you are in, it is your perspective about strategy, how you are going to look at what the industry is offering and what the industry has not thought of before. Let's take one more example before we go into, because I want to bring out one more point in the main Blue Ocean Shift process. So I want to talk about the fundraising charity industry, right? Who are the customers of that industry? Who would donate? Who would be your target customer if you are a fundraising charity? How about marketing it to poor people? No? So who will you be getting donations from? Generally, you would have a target customer base, which is wealthier people, which are older people, which are also educated people. So there is, when you think about an industry, you get an idea about who's your target customer, what is going to be your product. Your product is going to be something sad that's going to make them feel guilty. So out of pity, they are going to donate. That's what the industry believes in. If you are going into a fundraising charity, you would be thinking along those lines as well, right? Because there is a certain target market that you are going after. You know what sort of product there is going to be in the industry. You know how to appeal to them. These are companies who would have like year-round marketing campaigns so that they can reach out to those customers. Then there are some customers who are on the periphery. So there are maybe middle income, head of households. If you pester them a lot, they might donate a little. And so some fundraising charities would go about them as well. But would a fundraising charity think about getting the pocket money from a kindergarten student? They would not, right? Would they think about marketing it to these fresh graduates who are making a lot of money in the tech industry? They would not, because they have a lot of money, but they don't think it's for charity. That's not the customer base of the industry. Does that make sense? As to how you would think about who's your target customer and who are you going to market to. Blue Ocean, so that's the red ocean where you are thinking about. Blue Ocean is outside that, so you have to think about who are the non-customers. Why are these people outside of the industry? Why are the kids not donating? Why are the young professionals not donating? What do you need to change? What can bring great value to these non-customers who are outside of the industry? So let me show you an example. Does anybody know about Comic Relief, Red Nose Day? So let's see what they have been doing.
We're doing something funny for the money. We're doing something silly for a laugh. Wear one way, put your face in a jelly. Try sitting in a baked bean bath. We're doing something funny for the money. 'Cause money from the funny still lasts. We don't care if anybody says, "Oh my word, how silly can you get?" We'll make a lot of money being naughty and daft.
Prepare to be entertained.
I don't sound like a little girl. I sound like a big man.
Can you say quack quack? I am a university professor.
It's the day, every 2 years, where you guys get to have fun, raise money, change lives, and enjoy one of the best nights of TV.
We're going to give you a night of TV you'll never forget.
You look beautiful. I know.
Look at it! You can get involved too. This year, we'd love you to make your face funny for money. You can join in at home, work or school, and whether you put on one of our 9 new noses, paint your face, or attempt the world's largest selfie, you'll be joining millions of other funny faces up and down the country as they raise life-changing cash.
Comic Relief, what they did was the best thing ever.
The total raised by Comic Relief and Sport Relief since we first started is over £1 billion.
So those over £1 billion come from 16 days, because you heard, 1 day every 2 years, third week of March, Comic Relief, which is 1 day of having fun, and that $1 billion has, so it started in 1985. Now there have been like 18 or so, but when I got the figures, it was 16 red-nosed days, where even the poorest people could participate, because this is a £1 nose that you get at the grocery stores. So it's not that only the person who makes the biggest donation gets his name written somewhere. Even the poorest people can participate in it. So the tool that I want you to go away with is this tool where there's the red ocean, where are the current customers, and then there are non-customers, and there are 3 tiers there. First is the soon-to-be non-customers. These are those middle-income head of households. They are in the industry, but also out of the industry. You can get them in, but they can jump ship out as well. The second tier is refusing customers who have money, but don't want to give it to charity. They know about your offering, but they don't invest, they don't spend in your industry. These are the young professionals, right? Then the third tier is unexplored customers. It's people living on, let's say, £20,000 a year. That's their income level. The charities don't go after them. But by giving them an offering where they can also participate, and it's not just the £1 noses that's bringing the money, it's a fun day. So you have a very hairy friend, you can all come together and have him wax off his hair, raise £500 for charity or so. Or there is a friend who is chatterbox, you guys come together and say, you have to keep quiet the whole day while we will all be having fun, and you raise money for charity and so on. So that's how it goes. It's a day of having fun. It's a night of telethon where celebrities give their free time, time free of money. And then it comes with the golden pound promise, which means every single pound that's raised will be committed, going to the cause, will not be used in some expensive fundraising gala and so on, because it's community involvement, right? So let's end this process with what are those 5 steps. I have shown you 3 tools right now. One is the strategy canvas. The other one is the buyer utility map. The third one is the non-customers framework. But there are other tools as well that you use in the process. The first step is, where do you start applying Blue Ocean strategy? There is a tool that's called the Pioneers, Migrators, Settlers map, so that you can look at your portfolio and identify what is it that you should be changing? What is really entrenched in the red ocean? What has its back against the wall, so that that's the part that you really need to change in your business? The first tool is Pioneers, Migrators, Settlers map. The second step is what you saw right here. It's get clear about the current state of play, and it is having a big picture view of the industry. Where you are, where competitors are, what can you do differently? And you have seen the tool strategy canvas that we use over here. The third is imagine where you could be, and that is where 2 tools come in. Imagine who are all the non-customers that you could bring in. The industry is not focused over them. Oxfam is not going after these young kids or professionals. They are all focused on the wealthy individuals, right? So One is identify where are those non-customers that you could bring in. The second is identify where are those pain points, hidden pain points that the industry has not thought of. The Comic Relief realized that the big pain point is in the industry is people don't want to be made feel guilty for their success. They don't want to be pestered for, oh, you are rich and the others are poor, let's start giving, right? So that's the pain point that they wanted to solve in the industry and how they turned it around. The pain point in the Dollar Shave Club, how is it that it gets delivered to your home and so on? Okay, I am almost done. Then the fourth step, there is a tool that's called the 6 Paths Framework, and it gives you a systematic way of how do you find creative ideas to solve those problems. Now, you have identified some problems or pain points. How do you solve them? Maybe you get an idea from another industry. If Netflix can be sending, like, movies to the home, Dollar Shave Club can be sending razors to the home. So how do you look across industries to see what may have worked in another industry to solve a similar problem and bring it in your industry? That's Art 4. And the next last one, of course, is you can come up with many different ideas, and you need to have a systematic way of evaluating those ideas and choosing a winning deal. So what I would suggest is these 2 books. They did change my life, and Petra told me it changed hers as well. So it's just a different way of looking at business, the opportunities, and the growth patterns. So I would suggest getting those books, following the systematic process. Of course, in the e-commerce industry as well, you will be able to find blue oceans. I'm sorry. I took too long, sorry.